Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers, let's breathe. Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency, sending you all tons of good ass energy. Just take all of it, deep divers. The cat down the road said you feel a whole lot better now. Look, deep divers, Sudan. What on earth is happening in Sudan right now? It is really crazy right now in Sudan. So much is happening there, and we have to talk about it, deep divers, because just in today, there was a massacre in Sudan in a hospital, El Fasher, and it left over 460 people dead. And a lot of people don't even realize, like, what's happening in Sudan right now is really serious. Really serious. That's why I'm making this video, to bring awareness. But I'm also going to tie in how we all can overcome this war that's actually not only happening out there, but also inside of ourselves. It's going to help you become your greatest version. So we're going to talk about Sudan hospital massacre. Things they're not telling you about Sudan hospital massacre. Deep divers, this information right here is not only going to blow your mind, it's also going to empower you to help you become your greatest version. Smash the like button right now if you support the real. Smash the like button right now if you support the real, because we got a whole lot to talk about. And go and get the Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version, deep divers. The new book is out. Feel Alive 2. Unlock Your Infinite Power by Ralph Smart. There's a secret recipe to becoming your greatest version. Now out on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook. Click the link down below, deep divers. Also, join the YouTube membership for full access to the live streams. Click join down below. And of course, join the brand new Patreon page for all new exclusive content. Patreon.com/ralphsmart. Click the link down below, deep divers. You're going to love it. Look, it is kind of crazy in Sudan right now, and that is an understatement. And I'm going to also play you some videos which are really going to blow your mind as well. Because why is this war even happening in Sudan? We're going to find out why it's even happening in the first place. But deep divers, look, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation. Your blessings are about to double. If you're ready for that, just say thank you. Thank you. Who said that? And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? So a lot of people have no idea about what's happening in Sudan right now. Okay? A lot of people have no clue about how bad it really is. You've heard about Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Gaza, but what about Sudan? The media isn't really covering this. The media is not really covering Sudan like it has to be covered, because a lot of innocent people are losing their lives, and I'm here to bring awareness to it. So let me give you some context. Let me play this news clip. Then we're going to play some other videos. And I'm going to also tell you things I'm not telling you about this whole situation in Sudan. Deep divers, let's go.
Now, 460 people, including patients, were brutally killed at the Saudi maternity hospital, becoming the latest victims in Sudan's brutal civil war. Their lives were stolen by fighters from the paramilitary rapid support forces who laid siege to the city after a devastating campaign. The capture of the El Fasher, the final army stronghold in Darfur, has turned into one of the darkest chapters of the two-year conflict. According to the Sudan Doctors Network, Sudan's rapid support forces burst through the wards of the maternity hospital, showing mercy to no one. Hundreds of people were shot dead, evoking strong condemnation from United Nations and the World Health Organization, who have called for an end to the military escalation. The head of the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group has vowed that Sudan would be unified through peace or through war after his forces captured this key city. Acknowledging what he called abused by his forces, RSF Commander General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, who is sanctioned by the U.S., said that he has ordered an investigation into the incident.
There are violations that happened in El Fasher. From here, we are announcing the formation of an investigation committee, and the announcement is not only talk. Our committees have arrived now in El Fasher. The legal committee is now in El Fasher. They are now staying in El Fasher. They are attacking people and not allowing people to work or fulfill their duties, referring to recent escalation. But now our committees have arrived in El Fasher. An investigation committee should start immediately to hold any soldier or officer who committed a crime or crossed their limits towards any human accountable.
Sudan's army controls most of the country's north and east, having recaptured Khartoum in March 2025, while the RSF holds territory in the west and southwest. With the army having abandoned El Fasher, the RSF now holds all 5 of Darfur's regional capitals, while fighting continues in the southern region of Kordofan. The UNICEF representative Sheldon Yett has said that the situation in Darfur is horrific and has also described the appalling humanitarian situation due to the conflict.
The situation is horrific. Here we have a city that had been under siege for 600 days. No food could get in, no medicine could get in, none of the basics of that communities that children need could get in. And now these same residents are subject to the most horrific violence, most acute violence. So it is absolutely horrific. This is not the first time that health workers at health institutions have been hit in this war, but such a massive number of people being hit in a maternity hospital, that's just despicable.
So deep divers, I wanted to give you some context, right? So everything that's happening in Sudan right now, you got men, women, and children, innocent people getting caught in the crossfire, and it's not really being covered in the media like it really should. And a lot of people don't even know, why is this even happening in Sudan? Like, where did it start? We don't even get told that. Well, I came across this video, a few videos I'm going to play for you, which are going to give you some historical context about why this war in Sudan is actually happening. And what this guy has to say is really going to blow your mind. Pay attention. Let's go.
What's happening in Sudan is way worse than what's happening in Gaza. Did you just hear what I just said? What's happening in Gaza is nothing compared to what's happening in Sudan. And I know what you're thinking to yourself, if the situation is so bad in Sudan, why don't we talk about Sudan the same way we talk about Gaza? Why isn't the media covering stories in Sudan the same way they're covering stories in Gaza? That's because what's happening in Sudan is a lot more complicated, harder to create narratives over. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to try and break it down. And even, trust me, if you thought the Israel-Palestine situation is hard to understand, this one is going to blow your mind. You see, since 1956, when Sudan gained its independence, they've always been struggling with instability in their region, right? Internal conflicts, civil wars, rebel groups trying to overthrow the government. But here's the thing. There was always a central government, and there was an army that tried to maintain some level of peace and order in the country. Now, please, guys, this is very important for you guys to understand. In Sudan, there were always these small little military groups that were representing their groups of people, right? And the government had to try and keep those groups in check, because those groups are obviously attempting to try and overthrow the government. Now, remember, these military groups or these rebel groups don't play by the rules. They play dirty because they don't care about human rights. And the government was struggling to keep these guys in check because they have to play by the rules. They are recognized by the international community, so they have to abide by human rights. They have to abide by international law. So they were struggling to keep these guys in check. So they came up with an idea. Why not take one of the most strongest of the military groups and then fund them to keep the other smaller military groups in check? So that's what they did. The group that they chose to fund and use was called the Janjaweed Group. But obviously, they had to rename it and call it the Rapid Support Forces. So they created a unit called the Rapid Support Forces, and then they absorbed the Janjaweed Group and said, listen, we want you guys to operate under this name to try and keep all those other military groups in check. Now, for some time it worked, but then eventually the Rapid Support Forces were like, listen, why do we need to take orders from the government? Why don't we take all the resources, find people we can trade with, and then we become the ruling government? And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what they did. the RSF managed to capture and control most of the resources in the region, and now they are on a mission to annihilate the Sudanese government and everyone that supports them. Now this is where we need to start talking about the basic makeup of the population of Sudan. You've got Arabic people that are basically a minority. Then you've got black people that are the majority in Sudan. Now you see, not all Arabic people support the RSF, but the majority, if not all, the black people in Sudan support the Sudanese government, because they know that if the Sudanese government does anything to harm them, the international community will look down on them. They will issue out sanctions. That is why the Sudanese people that are black support the government and not the RSF. Now this is where you guys are going to need to understand this. Not all Arabic people support the RSF, but majority of the black people support the Sudanese government. If not all black people support the Sudanese government. Now let's go back to what I said. The RSF are on a mission to annihilate the Sudanese government and everybody that supports them. So if everybody that supports them is black, that means the RSF 9 times out of 10 are targeting black people in Sudan. Now you're probably going to ask me, Mr. Chronic, who is funding the RSF if the RSF are against the government? Obviously the government has now cut supplies and resources to the RSF. This is where Sudan's accusations really kind of like get scary, because they are saying that the RSF are being funded by the UAE. Hence they tried to take the UAE to the ICJ. But here's the thing, the UAE did not sign the Genocide Convention. Basically the Genocide Convention kind of like mandates for countries to like play by the rules, right? You can take Israel to the ICJ because they signed the Genocide Convention. For whatever reason, they didn't sign the Genocide Convention, so now they took the case to the ICJ. The ICJ simply said, listen, the UAE didn't sign the Genocide Convention. We can't do anything. We're not saying that they haven't done anything wrong. We're saying that we cannot prosecute them because they didn't sign the Genocide Convention. And there are other players that are involved, but as it stands, I don't want to speculate. All I know is that's what happened. The Sudan government tried taking UAE to the ICJ, and it failed because the UAE did not sign the Genocide Convention. That's why the situation in Sudan is so horrible. It's different from the situation in Gaza, where we definitely know that, listen, the people of Gaza, the people of Palestine, they can understand that, listen, Israel can be held accountable. They know exactly the person that they're trying to hold accountable, and there are systems and controls that are in place to make sure that, listen, there's still some hope that Israel might be held accountable. But in the case of Sudan, they've got no one. Nothing. That is why so many Sudanese people are leaving the country. So many Sudanese people are being murdered. Over 40,000 people have lost their lives in Sudan. Majority being black people. I hate to make it about race. I hate making things about race, but when we're dealing with genocides and things of the like, we have to come to it. That's the situation that's happening in Sudan. I hope if you managed to make it so far to this video, shout out to you. I had to explain it so that you guys understand what's going down in Sudan. So maybe we can try and talk about it.
That was a great breakdown. That was a really, really good breakdown, deep divers, right? It is terrible what's going on in Sudan right now. And let's all send some good energy to everybody in Sudan right now, deep divers. Let's send some good ass energy to everybody in Sudan right now, because they need healing, they need love, they need the world's support, because they are dealing with a massive conflict. And you got to remind yourself, deep divers, that Sudan also has a very rich history. Okay, one of the oldest civilizations, Kush. Sudan has pyramids even older than in Egypt. Slow motion this side. Pay attention, right? So I'm going to play you 2 other videos, and I'm going to talk about overcoming conflict. Let's go, deep divers. Let's go.
Habibi, come to Dubai. No, Dubai, come to The Hague. The UAE is complicit in genocide and nobody bats an eye. No wonder they fully support Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Because the UAE has been supportive and benefiting from the genocide and humanitarian crisis in Sudan. Just yesterday, an entire Sudanese village was completely wiped off the map. 500 men were killed by RSF soldiers, and the women? The women have been resorting to suicide to protect themselves from SA and grape. This is one of the deadliest events in the entire 18 months of war in Sudan, and the mainstream media aren't reporting on it at all. And the UAE supports it and finances it for the sole purpose of stealing the country's natural resources. Nearly 1 million people are at risk of starvation, and 10 million have been displaced. We should be looking to stop genocide in all areas of the world. Pay attention to Sudan.
Pay attention to Sudan, right? Let me play you one more video, deep divers, and take a listen to what this guy is saying. Very eye-opening. Let's go.
If you want to actually understand what is happening in Sudan right now, then you need to understand the United Arab Emirates Grand Plan for the Middle East North Africa region, because this country is a counter-revolutionary menace who is currently backing military dictators and warlords all over the region with no regard for the consequences for human beings and their lives, just so that they can ensure the smooth flow of capital and the establishment of this new Middle East and Africa that Donald Trump and his lackeys constantly talk about. The UAE has really accelerated in this role since 2011 because they saw the Arab Spring and people deposing long-standing Western-backed autocrats in countries like Egypt, and the West doing very little about it. In fact, in some cases, they offered rhetorical support to people who had removed their leaders. And so what the UAE, along with Saudi Arabia, realized is they were going to have to do it themselves. And so in cases like Egypt, they meddled in the country's politics, funding an organization called Tamarod to create mass protest there, and also backing the Minister of Defense, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, to become the new military dictator of that country, obliterating the major steps made towards democracy in Egypt so that they could have a pliant dictator on the borders with Israel and as a key place in the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. They have full control over this country. It is basically an Emirati vassal state. And they have done this in so many places. They've meddled in the politics of Yemen, trying to establish a pliant regime there. They have done it in the case of Libya, backing Khalifa Haftar, who controls basically the entire east of Libya, where key oil fields are. It gives them another key port in the Mediterranean. What you have to understand is this country is thinking ahead. They are engaged in trying to establish ports and logistics all over the Red Sea, all over the Mediterranean Sea. They want every country to be ruled by dictators who crush any type of popular revolution that may challenge Emirati influence. The UAE is getting itself involved in mining, telecommunications, renewable energy, military cooperation, and it is even buying up vast swathes of land to build properties and even forests for carbon credits across Africa. What you need to understand is that this country is a major player in the Middle East and Africa. Western countries like the UK, US, and all across Europe have increasingly retreated from Africa, and in the void that we have left, the UAE has come in and they have no regard for the blood of any African person. The hundreds of thousands of Sudanese people that have been slaughtered as a result of their backing for the rapid support forces is a meaningless price to pay to them when they can get more control over Africa. Gold is but a mere part of it. They use it in a cyclical way that is taken by Hemedti over to Dubai, and then it is used to fuel the war effort to give more advanced weaponry to the RSF so they can commit massacres. And finally, the UAE will get its petty little dictator there who will establish a dictatorship where all dissent will be crushed and the UAE and its capitalist supremacy will reign supreme.
Wow, right? So I always tell you, there's always more to the story than the mainstream media shows you. And this Sudan conflict is really a tragedy. But you have to also ask yourself, who is sponsoring this conflict, who is giving these rebel factions ammunition, right? Now, conflict is never a good thing. An eye for an eye and the whole world goes blind. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, we have to become the change we wish to see in the world. This is how to end all conflict. We have to become the change we wish to see in the world. Slow motion this side. And that means that we have to recognize there's a war going on inside of all of us. And if you are not at peace with yourself, you're going to be at war with someone else, right? So I always tell you, deep divers, in becoming your greatest version, you have to find inner peace. And that means through meditation. That means through finding out more about yourself, right? And also realizing that this whole world is divided. It's run by gangs and it's over resources, greed everywhere. What's going on in Sudan is really a fight for resources. And you have to remind yourself that separation is how they divide us all on this planet. Whether it's Russia and Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Sudan, right now, it's all separation. And the truth is, it's one humanity. We have to remind ourselves, everybody bleeds red. So don't focus on this separation, because that's what breeds war. What gives rise to peace is seeing how we are all connected and everybody bleeds red. Amen to that message. Amen to that message, deep divers. Look, smash the like button right now if you're ready for peace in the whole world. Share the video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit the like button right now if you support the real. Also, join the YouTube membership for all new exclusive content. You're going to love it, deep divers. Click join down below and join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content. Over 250 videos. Click the link down below, deep divers. Go and get the brand new book, The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version, deep divers. Feel alive too. Unlock Your Infinite Power by Ralph Smart. There's a secret recipe to becoming your greatest version, now available at ralphsmart.com/the book. Click the link down below, deep divers. And if you want a one-to-one consultation with me so I can help you become your greatest version, deep divers, book a session at ralphsmart.com/one-to-one sessions. Of course, go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts. All new designs you're going to love for men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America, deep divers. And if you're a sexy ass model, whoa, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing? Well, go and buy some. I'm sending healing energy to everybody in Sudan right now. I'm sending good energy to everyone in Sudan right now. And I'm praying for world peace, because we've got to remind ourselves, deep divers, the world is going through a turbulent time. I just made a video on the hurricane in Jamaica. Shout out to everyone in Jamaica. Good energy to you. You just had the biggest police raid in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Good energy to Brazil. Now you got a massacre in Sudan, a hospital, 460 people dead. Good energy to Sudan, right? The whole world needs good energy right now, deep divers. So let's pray for peace for the entire world. But we have to remind ourselves, we must be the change that we wish to see in the world. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, smash the like button right now if you support the real. Share the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. One love, peace.